Hey all, welcome back to another episode of Enterprise Sales podcast series. I'm Shankar. I'm the founder of Coot. I'm going to be host for today's episode. And today with us we have Mr. Kamal from Career. He has an illustrious career with GCCs as well as in the tech world. He has worked with companies like Tally, and present for more than 5 years. He's working with Career, right? He's leading AI, data science, and some fantastic initiatives he's doing with Career. And I'm going to really enjoy discussing with Kamal. I'm sure all of you are going to do. So welcome, Kamal, to our show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the invite and opportunity, Shankar. Looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah, thanks, Kamal. So I made a very 10 seconds brief background about you, Kamal. But could you tell a little bit of your background, where you started, and how that is helping you in shaping what you are doing with Career today, Kamal?
Yeah. So I had an interesting journey and was very lucky and honored to work with a few of the fantastic organizations in the industry who are making a lot of remarkable transformations in the way they serve their customer, the way they look at contributing back to the industry and the society in general. So, predominantly, I belong to a state called Rajasthan, born and brought up in Jaipur, and in 2004 is where I moved to Bangalore to start my career with IBM. And journey with IBM started more onto the technology ops, and from there, I have been into various roles and various companies as a part of my progression journey. I worked with Polaris, I worked with Satyam, Intel, I worked with Tally, I worked with Mindless Group, JK Group. My roles in the start of my career were more focused on operational side of the story, which gave me a good understanding on how the enterprise users look at technology and how much their dependency are associated on the right technology solution, delivering them the productivity as well as efficiencies, right? So the transformation, what we talk about in industry, then also we were talking about transformation. Today also we talk about transformation. I think it's more about impact you put on your business, on your employees, on your consumers, on their day-to-day ways of working, the way they interact and connect with your product. I think that's where uh, my enterprise journey got exposed. And then I moved quickly into my career path, quickly into a CIO role at the age of 27. I took up the CIO role with a US multinational and managing their four subsidiary technology, strategy, operations, transformation. I think that was a definitely a big game changing learning for me in my career. Got solidly exposed to consumer, got exposed to the change in the technology paradigm. So from on-premise in 2007 and 8 and 9, the cloud was knocking the doors of the technology ecosystem. So I was one of the few early adopters of the cloud in the industry, and a lot of lessons learned, a lot of successes in terms of how to do the cloud right. From there, the data play took me over and spent a lot of time in terms of delivering the data-driven experiences to consumer. And from there, the journey has been more around tech-led transformation, specifically in the area of digital, and then also got an opportunity of quite a few organizations in terms of driving the culture and change across the org, making sure the way the technology or the digital teams partner with the different functional groups in the organization and work and function and operate as a one team. Because there was a shift happening when it comes to the tech landscape, but there was also a shift happening in your culture foundations, because the people who were entering into digital zone were more like a Gen Z and millennial crowd, which were like taking over the niche and upcoming technologies. So I think the fine balance and right cultural changes were needed. So that was adopted in that point of time in my assignment. But it was a good learning overall, I would say, and gave me a lot of new perspectives. And then picked up couple of GCC roles where I have established a GCC, a Global Capability Center, more future oriented, creating future of work with future of workforce. I think that also helped me to look at the bigger picture, where this entire talent landscape is landing, and how do you drive uh, these orgs with digital transformation as a foundation, which encompasses your all the emerging tech, all the impact driven innovation, and plus the agility and adaptability is what something has been few interesting learnings for me during my journey.
Oh, great, great, Kamal. I think, as I said, it's an illustrious career, right? Could you tell a brief about what is career? Right? I think, maybe many people, because it's a B2B solution, maybe many people may not be relate to that, as well as what is your team doing within the career in GCC in India, Mr. Kamal?
So Carrier is a very respectable and reputed brand across the globe, known for the innovation of air conditioning. We are about 100-year-old organization spread across the globe, having the product line into air conditioning, both residential and commercial. And typically, we call ourselves now, after portfolio transformation, as a pure play HVAC company. We are also deeply associated into refrigeration business, right? Where we are focusing on truck and trailer container business, and both the both of the businesses right now are outcome of our portfolio transformation. Earlier, we were part of UTC, United Technologies, which is Raytheon right now. So we took a spin from there and got publicly listed in United States as a standalone company. And since then, the journey has been pretty transformative. And post spin-off, one thing we realize is that we need to have a solid, transformation with our technology talent. And that's where, as a part of CDO group function, the hub concept was brought in. And that's where I joined in 2019 Q4, being a first employee in Digital Hub India. And eventually we grew a journey. Right now we are hovering about 800 people, including our partner staff. Uh, India Digital Hub is our biggest digital capability center across the globe. Apart from in India, we are at two locations, Hyderabad and Bangalore. Apart from India, I also lead a Mexico hub and China hub. These three hubs put together form our initiative, which is called Connected Hubs, which is bringing these hubs together. What we are doing is basically we are driving the charter of our digital executives across the board. So then they decide and partner with business and come out with the transformation programs or initiatives. We take them over and we start executing them and delivering them. So there is a close knitted ecosystem working as a one global team and making sure that we are right on the spot and focused on impact and delivering our digital charter. The journey has been fantastic. We started with our journey with the programs like cybersecurity infrastructure, and quickly moved on to the product engineering, product platform, the niche skills like AI, data analytics, automation, right? And then also moved into the portfolio management, communications, and then we moved into gradually to move into the overall strategy portfolio delivering to the organization, which is helping us to tie up the right needs and delivering the entire fabric of delivery excellence using all the global hubs together. So our global hubs work together in tangent, making sure that we leverage the geographic advantages and move forward.
Sure, sure, Kamalji. Moving on to our topics, right? I think in all these questions, what I'm going to ask is, it's not very specific to career, right? But I think you're a leader interacting with so many other GCC leaders, and you know the industry. So it is at a very broad landscape. So the first question might be is on the climate change. I think climate change is real. We are all discussing day in day out, and the industry which you're operating is in the eye of that topic, right? So what are the initiatives you are seeing happening with the GCCs in India on tackling this topic?
The sustainability topic and the turning back the climate change situation is, I think, all the progressing and future forward capability centers or GCCs, they are working very seriously about it. At least the GCCs, what I have met very recently, I'm seeing that those goals are coming on the table now, right? And there's a plan of execution in many GCCs. The plan is already in progress. The reports are happening. I think it's a journey what the global capability center would need to cover with the help of the ecosystem. And look, energy is a topic where technology will bring a lot of efficiency, right? And in turn, which will change the dynamics with your climate change and all the benefits and which we can give it back to the society and the humanity in general. Like talking about the carbon emissions and all these things. I was reading a report very recently where I think today, if you see, the technology impacted carbon footprint reduction is pretty high. At some point of time, I think a decade back, it was not even into a single digits properly, right? But today, if you see, that we are all talking about 30 to 35% technology-led carbon emissions, right? Which will be reduced and which will be delivered as an impact. And as your AI plays coming to picture, as your more data-driven energy programs are coming into picture, I think this game is going to get bigger and bigger. And I always see and I'm confident that these programs will definitely help the entire energy landscape in this form and shape of efficiencies and carbon footprint reduction in coming few years. And I think when it comes to GCC, for most of the Fortune 500 organizations, right, the intent when they're establishing to India, the intent is that our GCC should drive the core programs to deliver the impact, right? And
Could
when it
you
comes to
could you share a few examples of the initiatives and programs, Kamalji, so that the people could relate the kind of work our GCs are delivering to that global, ambition or the deadlines?
yeah, so I can give you quite a few examples, right? Like a leading car manufacturer, right? They have got a GCC in India, and if you look at their carbon footprint reduction and emission, right? It's being that the program is being driven from India and running pretty much on the right timelines and deadlines, and on the phase wise they are on time accurate, through which they were able to in their latest model they were able to reduce the energy consumption by 9%, delivering the same kind of mileage or the output. I think that's one example. Second example, if you see the data centers, right? That is also going to become a big topic. So there are a lot of cooling solutions and the data center management suites, which are like are being talked about, in which the companies like Carrier will play a pretty large and significant role, being the leader, being the pioneer in the technology, and being the innovator, right? So there's a huge scope there. The other example which I can share with you is about the quantum computing, right? If you heard, I was meeting the startup very recently, where I was like pretty excited to see the first quantum supercomputer, which was like showcased to me. It exists in Bangalore, and they are doing well. Again, delivering more computing power that has reduced, carbon footprint. I think these kind of there are several examples you name it, and I think by design now every organization has started talking about how they are contributing into sustainability efforts in their org, which in turn takes you to the next mileage, where we can easily say that okay, there are opportunities where you can do a technology or digital intervention, and you can bring the smart ways to reduce the energy consumption and hence reducing the carbon footprint.
Sure, sure. So we discussed about the climate change, sustainability, and carbon emission. The same way we also mentioned about energy efficiency, right? Do you want to double click on the energy efficiency or carbon emission? Any other examples you can hardly say like hey, this was there and this is a kind of initiative our GCs have done, and it has given a transformative impact, right? I think so that the people could take an inspiration out of the work done by our fellow professionals, Kamalji.
Yeah. So a couple of examples, right? One thing I would tell you is technology reusability, right? Technology reusability, those sounds very simple topic, but if you go double click it and go in the background, I mean, it can save decent amount of energy consumption, right? So imagine something you are producing as a tech solution, which can be reused again within your organization. The kind of compute power you reduce to develop that is phenomenal. So build for the larger usability. That's one of the best practices I see that the companies are using it. The other is how to best use your products, which are like uh, consuming energy. Like just taking an example, it's a big case which will impact, but carrier products, right? Imagine they're empowered with the right technology, and which is helping you to reduce your energy bills, which is helping you to reduce your energy consumption, and straightforward giving you a strong roadmap and the path to be energy efficient. And similar practices I'm seeing in EV industry, right? Where every quarter they are coming up with the new algorithms to give you more power with the similar battery and giving you more miles to cover. So I think these interventions are becoming more intensified with the technology like AI and machine learning coming into the play, right? And this will go more and more intensive and more impactful as we progress into our journey and maturing our solutions.
Sure, sure. Manufacturing industries are one of the what is it to say it's a laggards in terms of digital transformation, right? I think for various reasons, right? So how do you see that changing with more and more GCs are coming here and their primary role is to do digital transformation things. So how do you see the overall landscape, Kamalji?
Yeah, see, you're right. Manufacturing and industrial firms were looked like that, but I think now in last one decade, I think that shift is happening because end of the day, manufacturing and industrial firms also have got consumers, and their consumers' behavior is changing. because they are like becoming more digital savvy. Plus, there's a channel which the same consumer is using for the better digital experience, right? So the consumer who might be using a car will also be using the apps like Uber or the iPhone apps for their phone accessibility and usability. So their digital maturity and what digital experience can deliver them is increasing. So they expect the similar kind of experiences to come from their car manufacturer also, right? Similar might expectations might be in with the HVAC customers also, refrigeration customer also, television customer also. So you take any consumer goods, right? There will be expectations with every these days. I mean, the product customer is savvy that they do read the product specs, they do read the product features, and there are platform and portals which give you a comparison also. So I think there is a shift which is happening, and the whole concept of bringing the talent together under the umbrella of Global Capability Center is to fast track those transformations, get ahead of the technical depth and legacy systems, and adopt the emerging tech ASAP to transform your consumer behavior. And that's how we look at it.
Now, Kamalji, I will have a counter argument here, right? For example, I will take a different industry, say real estate. Say in India, I look at all the real estate people because the customers are behaving now. They are coming with the smart homes. They are coming with a different tech. But at the core, their functions are still old in the archaic way, right? They still have smart home. They have cameras. They have smart locks and other things, right? Very jazzy stuff. But their fundamental business is get operating in the same old way. My question to you is like how their fundamental business itself is changing using technologies. What are the few things which you have seen which is getting accelerated in the manufacturing, which has not been seen in their past?
Yeah. No, you're right. But if I take a step back, the real estate players, right? You are right. They are still are running on the legacy systems. But what smart technology they are bringing into the equation, that is not their technology. They are
Correct.
buying from someone else,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Correct.
But when it comes to manufacturing, the shift what I'm saying is today, see, everything is getting connected, right? So you have a product, your product needs to be connected to your supply chain, your aftermarket services, your financial systems, your customer systems, CRMs, right? So these things are getting connected pretty rapidly. We just cannot have your product made smart and rest systems are not connected. So you will not be a connected organization or enterprise, right? The shift after this platform first philosophy, I think the collected ecosystem is becoming more relevant, and that's where I see the game is going to get bigger and bigger. And see, with every technology evolution, right, the things are becoming more complex, the things are becoming more interesting also. So 15, 20 years back, cloud knocked, then your data knocked, right? Then platforms knocked, then your AI, Gen AI, ML, these kind of technology came. So they all are getting together, right, to deliver the more modern and more transformative organization. So I think connecting the workflows, processes, your product helps in a big way, and that's what you are seeing in manufacturing industry. They are digitalizing their factories. And they are not just digitalizing factories. Parallelly, they are running their programs to connect the supply chain, aftermarket services, everything together in one loop to have a unified experiences, right? And that is what will is going to change the entire landscape. The companies which are lagging behind, they also are like moving pretty aggressively on that because now they realize the market is like changing, the customer is changing, so they have to appropriately align themselves in this way.
Sure, Kamalji. I think you mentioned about few technologies, means big trends happening in the manufacturing. For example, like a digital twins, right, or IoT-based devices getting those signals. Could you take some two, three good examples, which is again transforming in the manufacturing sector, which probably 20, 30 years, which are not possible. Now it is possible because of these technology interventions.
Yeah. See, smart manufacturing or the IoT, right? If you talk about how much they have a lot of transformation in terms of manufacturing, production, and all. Now you can predict in advance which part of your factory may go down, and you do that preventive maintenance, which is saving you millions of dollars because your plant is not going down. You are running around the clock operations, and you have scheduled maintenance which will take care of any kind of preventive maintenance required. That's one thing. Second, see, end of the day, your smart factories are also delivering the predictability, right? Like your inventory insights, your inventory analytics, and then followed by your incumbent supply chain, analytics or insights, which help you to become extremely tightly structured and governed with production excellence factory or manufacturing group, which is helping you to increase your top line, increase your bottom line, and you have a better predictability on your customer experience and your customer deliverables. So I think that's one area I see bigger play. And then when it comes to IoT, I think, as I mentioned you in my last question also, there the entire IoT tech stack is bringing the beauty of connectivity, right? The moment you connect your data, sorry, the moment you connect your product to your systems cloud, I think that's where the beauty starts, right? You have more governed and structured experience, personalized experience to your consumer, which is like giving them the better ROI and better experiences from your product line. I think that's where the transformation is happening, and definitely the powerful the IoT platform, which are like getting introduced every year, with a more progressed, advanced features. That is also happening, and I think see, whenever you have the access to data, and if you are designing them correctly, I think the magic follows. That's the power of data.
Great. But you're in the manufacturing line, right? Many of your team members, right? Though the carrier might have a factory in India, but most of the people might not have seen the factory or assembly line by themselves, right? So how do you impart knowledge, what is really required to operate those signals or those insights based on which you should be act upon? So how do you bridge these two, Mr. Kamal?
See, it's all about how you develop your ecosystem, how your employees are onboarded, and how you create the training sessions for them or upskill sessions for them. So one thing, when you are bringing the your employee group into your new org, we have to make sure that they are properly inducted, which also should include the initiative like factory visit, right? And then see, today technology is available, right? You can always use AR, VR, strong platforms, which will give you complete access to like a real life factory environment, and you can train them in that way also. In person always helps, and when it comes to using technology, AR, VR kind of solutions are helping big time, because when you are developing the solutions around factories, right, you need to have experience around it. It is beneficial for the large organizations like carrier who have got a lot of factories across the globe. So for us, it's not very difficult to give real time. In fact, we do that very frequently. uh, we have a factory in India. We do give them exposure to the factories and the tour and understanding how the production is done. They can touch, they can feel. We have product experience center in Gurgaon. I think that's pretty easy for us in that. Even in organization who doesn't have that opportunity, they can look for the solutions like this using technology.
Okay. So, because the I'm double clicking here, right? So these are the trainings, very specific training happens after they're on board, right? Because you will not have so many laterals who really have expertise here, because these kind of some of these industries are not exist in India. Again, I'm not talking only about career. I am talking about some sophisticated niche industries GCC are operating here, right? Where their factories are not operating in India, or the people have not seen, right? So you need to onboard them, train them, then start getting the output, or how does it happen, Kamal?
See, it depends, like in which function, which group you belong, right? Certain trainings you need to give them on the floor, right? So first your theoretical happens, then you move them to factories and you explain them on the factory systems. Certain trainings can be done virtually also, right? Like most of trainings you will cover in the classroom, and then you will take them for the floor walk or the factory walk, and there you explain the system. You give them a hands-on trainings into the labs and stuff. I also understand that there are companies who give you the factory setup environment customized and built for you, where your employees can go get trained on those systems, and then they can go into the real factory. So it all depends on what kind of upskilling or induction you want for your employees, and then they can move. Like if you're hiring lateral, you may hire a person, he may not have worked onto your systems, but was working on a different brand factory automation solutions or digitalization solutions. But those studies can be built easily. In some areas, the factory OEMs also have got the factory solutions OEM also have got their own training programs where they help the employees of different companies to come get trained and start working in the factories.
Sure, sure. So to that extent, how much of tie-ups, or how much of there are a lot of GCCs now, they have tied up with universities and colleges so that they can train the students when they are studying itself, right? To a certain extent. For example, I was discussing with Miss Eva James from Renault Nissan, right? So she's telling that they have tied up with IIT Chennai to various other universities and colleges, in southern India as well as even in Western India. So whether these kind of initiatives are prevalent, or these are all one-off cases, Mr. Kamal, based on your experience?
See, talent for any organization would be the key, right? You cannot have only one pyramid layer of talent and say, okay, I have won the talent war. No. So you need leadership, you need leads, you need your early talent people. You also need the entire associated ecosystem to fulfill those needs. So in your question's case, it is about alignment, and we have a very robust program for that, and we have few strategic MOUs and programs running with couple of universities, and we may expand out to one or two more to make sure that we have enough access to the talent. And it's not about only we go and hire talent, we get involved with them from day one, helping them to understand the industry, and we also on time go and understand their concerns, like where they are struggling, how we can support them in terms of getting the right exposure to their students. Can we help them into uplifting the course curriculum and make the program more meaningful, access to the sandboxes. These kind of initiatives and programs help us to have a better prepared early talent workforce, which in turns makes your foundation strong, right? Because you need to always be proactive about your talent pipeline as well. So that's how we look at it.
Sure. But for example, you're dealing with a very interesting technology, which is not common, right? But you need a talent which is probably readily not available, or you need it a little, immediately, right? I think you have a headquarters saying that, hey, this is the job getting done. So how do you go about it? You will go get it from the outside, like, outsource companies, or how do you go about it, Mr. Kamal?
So it's all about how you develop your ecosystem. Typically, I'll give you in my experiences, I see that partners, your strategic partners play a bigger role in your success, because there's a limit how much you can hire, but your programs keep expanding. You need scalability, and that's where your partner ecosystem comes handy to make sure your programs are being supported well, and you have a right rigor and rhythm, and that's where you win the entire game, to make sure that you are on track, you are par with the industry expectations, and you are delivering them value on time.
So which are the areas normally you will hire? Like, is it where you really need some urgent solution, or is it like, one-time project work where you don't hire full-time? How do you approach buy versus build, Kamalji? I'm sure this is you will be doing it, dealing with the day in, day out, right? So do you have any principle for that?
See, yeah, there are many factors which needs to be considered around this. And one thing, what I see is, first thing, what is that you're trying to buy or build? So once you take that program or initiative, right, you go through the metrics of like what impact is going to create, right? Um, and which area it will go and create an impact. Is it your customer? Is it your internal stakeholder or user or employee, or efficiency, or is going to transform a processes, and whom is going to impact? So that's one aspect. Second is how soon we need it, how much critical it is for our success. What if I buy it from outside? Can I get the complete desired feature set or a product which can help me to achieve those impact? I think putting all these stuff together, and then cost benefit analysis will give you the idea where you are heading and how you are heading. So, these things will be very, very crucial in making a decision about buy versus build.
Great. Nicely put, Kamalji. Probably one more question here before moving to the next topic. So if a service provider is coming and approaching you, right, where you have a requirement, what are all you will require from them? What are the basic, check boxes they need to take for you to say that, hey, I'm excited, I would like to work with these people?
See, it all depends on like how the synergies explode, right? First thing, they should know about my business, right? The better the partner or company knows about my business, they will they will explain and talk more relevant and more closure to solve my problem statement. That's one. Second is their product or solution bringing a new uh, solution to my current problem, right? The third, the value proposition. The fourth, time to deploy. These kind of things should be like explored and answered. And of course, um, the costs are also equal and balance in terms of how we explore. So I think these parameters should cover their exploratory call when we engage with them.
Got it. Got it. Kamalji. And when we discussed last time, you were mentioning about your startup initiatives. It will be really exciting to hear because we have a lot of audience from the startup ecosystem, especially from the SaaS universe, right? So could you tell little bit about the initiatives you're doing with Career, on how are you molding the startups and how are you taking them to the organization across the globe?
Yeah, so we have a very interesting startup program. We also have a couple of digital assets through which we closely engage with the startup. Like Air Talks is one of the program we run. It is run on LinkedIn, which is a online virtual connect between Carrier and the startup ecosystem, where we come and we share the problem statements, in which areas, under a particular theme, in which areas we need a support. And we have been doing this for the last 3 years. Every year we scout and engage with more than 500 startups, and we also hold closed room sessions with the startups, giving them the direct opportunity to come and meet our leadership straight directly one-on-one, and present their solutions, and get a clarity from us. We also ask them the questions, and that's where anything which is like interesting and exciting, we move forward on that. So startup has been our channel through which we expedite our journey of transformation, right? Because not everything we want to build in-house. We also keep looking for the already built products which can help us to fast track the journey. And in past, we have done, in last 3 years, we have done that significantly well in terms of collaborating with the startup world and exchanging notes, sharing and learning the changes what can be brought in into our operations, into our experience journey. So that's how we operate with the startups.
Any interesting examples, Kamalji?
It's confidential. I cannot disclose that much, but I can tell you, in one of the shared services platform, right? One of the startup introduced us a solution which was like very, very interesting for us because we were spending a lot of manual work hours onto that. And that startup was more around the compliance and governance, right? So having those kind of solutions helped us to save 25 to 30% of man hours, right? Straightforward, day one. I think that helps us, companies like us, big time, given that our size and complexities and the kind of operations we run. And the other example could be, which is not yet materialized, but is more around the sensor technology, right? Which is also helping us to understand better how, not that we are going and buying the solution, but having exposure to those kind of solutions is also giving us a learning. Okay, the art of possible with this entire sensor technology, right? So we keep exploring such opportunities with the startups.
Great, great, Kamalji. Sure. So moving on to it, right? I think you're a leader. You have a great vision for the future, right? What are the big challenges you see the manufacturing sector looking at it, right? Considering there are so many headwinds like the climate change to energy consumption to various other things are going, especially now supply chain disruption is coming for various tariff and other things, right? So what are the technologies you see which could emerge and solve some of these problems?
Right. See, in coming days in manufacturing space, I think the AI and the data technology is going to play a bigger role, which is like completely associated with your supply chain digitalization, your financial systems digitalization, right? And then your factory systems digitalization, basically digitalizing your factory ecosystem and connecting them systematically to deliver the value streams, right? So connecting is not a big thing, but if you design the connectivity or the connected product and platform to deliver a value stream for your consumer, I think that's where the game changes. So by design, there should be an incorporation of the required value scheme, the value stream, which will help you to garner the right impact and the right results.
Sure. Considering the time, probably I will ask a last couple of questions.
Yeah.
One question I'd like to understand is like you have so many projects might be moving around, right? So how do you go navigate with the HQ and try to get newer projects, right? Is it a chicken egg race? Like say for example you want to do something new, would they ask say that, hey, do you have talent? How can you do it? Like is it internal selling is as complicated like a external selling? How does that process work, Kamalji?
I think for us, it is like very simple. We operate as a global team. It's a one team. We don't have any differentiation between a team sitting in any part of the world versus India versus any other location of geography, right? It's a one carrier, one team organization where we work jointly on the planning, where we work jointly on the strategy, and the decision and ownership and accountabilities are given to the respective teams for the respective program, right? There are several programs which are running from India where India teams are like empowered and accountable for the outcome as well as the deliverables. So that's how it should work uh, when you are a global company with a global mindset, right? That's how it should work. So I think we don't have uh, that traditional way what you mentioned. We more have a working model as a one team where everything is done in jointly, right? So because you're a one team, any program which needs to be thought, conceptualized, and delivered, we have to work hand in hand with the all the stakeholders, all the entire global workforce. That's how we look at it.
Got it. You know, what are your, no, because you are handling so many different complex problems, right? I think as well as stakeholder management, headquarters, and managing your team and bringing the next force of talent. So many things. So what are your current challenges in your careers? What kind of careers you have, and what are the challenges with respect to that, Kamalji?
I think see one biggest thing what we always see is the changing landscape of the technology. It's like faster than ever, right? Every time you open the news, there is some new technology, some new LLM, some new AI transformative model which is hitting on the table. Uh, I think this is going to be interesting and very exciting. The impact what technology will change. So I think that the one challenge what we see is that the rapid change in technology landscape. So how do you keep it up with that change and adopt it quickly, stay ahead of the competition and deliver the excellent customer value as well as experience is one part. Second is always looking out for the talent, right talent, which will help you to make sure that your aspirations are becoming true, right? So these two challenges we keep coming across, and we work on these challenges and make sure that we solve these challenges for our better success as an organization.
So what do you do to overcome these challenges with respect to, for example, you're seeing changes in technology? How do you equip yourself in updating yourself on new technologies? Yeah.
See, in this awareness is key. Being part of that ecosystem is key. Make sure that your organization is participative in those technological advancements or rapid change. This can be done through the right participation with the industry, right participation with the startup, because startups are like early adopters of technology, given that their size, their agility, their scalability. And the third thing is how do you keep your workforce future ready, right? So having the right strategy for future scaling is also equivalent. So I think these 3 to 4 areas will help you to resolve the problem of this ever changing, rapid paced technology.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic, Kamalji. It's probably the last question to wrap up.
Yeah.
How do you balance your personal life with a high demanding professional career life, Kamalji?
See, both has to be balanced well, right? One thing is, see, as a professional, either you spend your life in your office on work or with your social circle, right? Having right balance with both is very, very crucial. Whenever you feel fatigue, you feel burnout, my advice and suggestion is always call it out, take a break, go back to your social circle, go back to your family, go back to your friends, just relax and come back when you are ready. Because I think the priority should be given to your well-being. That's very, very important, right? Learnings always helps, no doubt about it. But I think keeping right priority at right time is equally important, and that's what I say. Having the right hobbies, having the right social circle, getting involved with your new learnings, not just technology, but beyond that is also something important and precious as a lifelong journey for you.
Oh, awesome, awesome. I think that's a great way to end our session. So thanks a million, Kamalji, for your time as well as sharing your valuable insights, and looking forward to be in touch with you.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Shankara. And it was a good conversation, good session, good discussions.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to it.
Take care.